Morning guys, we will start with a broadcast section with no embargo, followed by an embargoed section for 10:30pm tonight. No live tweeting during the broadcast section and use the microphone provided. James.
Ange, morning to you. Can you describe to us Thursday night the feeling with the players, with your coaching group, in the changing room after the game? What was that like?
Yeah, it was good. Obviously, fair bit of joy in the dressing rooms after. Obviously, we need to pack up and get going pretty quickly because we had a flight back. But look, I think it's important you enjoy those moments when they come along. And fair to say, particularly after a real difficult season, you don't want to miss the opportunity of allowing people to enjoy it, and I think the boys and the staff, everyone who travelled did, and thoroughly deserved.
As you mentioned, it's been a difficult season, but it was clear to see the togetherness of the group on the pitch and with the celebrations of it as well. How much will that give your side belief moving forward for the rest of the campaign, not only with what's to come in Europa League, but also 6 games left in the Premier League?
Yeah, I think it's important. I think, I've said all along that it's not always easy to stay sort of united through difficult times because, invariably people are affected in different ways. And a lot of our group has sort of had to sit by the sidelines and watch it all as well, and not being able to contribute. So the fact that, on sort of Thursday night that, pretty much the whole group, obviously, Sonny was a significant absence and a couple of the other boys who weren't part of it. But I think I said before the game, the whole group who travelled all feel like they're part of it and contributed to it. And it is going to be important because, like I said, we've got obviously semi-finals coming up, but also important league games. And the fact we've got a sort of healthy squad for the first time, we're going to need all of them for sure.
Yeah, that's my final question. Just how's everybody recovered from it? I know you said James Maddison seemed okay afterwards. Certainly saw his Instagram post. He seemed pretty happy, but whether he felt the same way the next day, how's he feeling now? Yeah,
I mean, we had the day off yesterday, so we didn't get back till sort of early hours of Friday morning. But fair to say, he'd probably be a bit sore. So he's probably a doubt for Monday. The rest of the group, again, sort of they worked hard, so a bit sore, but should be okay for Monday night. Sonny still be out. With sort of, like I said, he's been sort of dealing with this foot problem for a while, so now it's probably as good a time as any just to give him the right time to get over it. So so he'll definitely miss Monday night as well. But everyone else should be okay.
Just on Sonny, how long could this keep him out for?
Not really sure. Like I said, it's something that's, he's been dealing with for a little while, and we got to the point where not only wasn't improving, but it was deteriorating. And it's one of these things, I think, probably rest is going to be as important as anything else with that kind of injury. So we'll give him that time because Sonny's the kind of guy who always wants to train and doesn't like miss training. So now we'll just have to put him on ice for the next few days and see how he responds to that. Thanks, James.
Hi, Ange. Congratulations, firstly, on Thursday night. Just keeping on the topic of Heung Min Son, obviously, I imagine it would have been hard for him to not travel with the team on Thursday night, being captain of the side. Was he in contact with yourself? Was he in contact with the players, trying to feel part of that special night? Yeah,
look, I mean, he wasn't in contact with me, but he was with the boys, obviously, and he's still a big part of it. We discussed whether he should come along, but I just, like I said, I think for us to give us the best chance of Sonny being available, for the semis and beyond, it just made sense that we left him at home. But I'm sure he was very much part of the group, and what do they call them, group chats or whatever they are. I'm sure they're part of some group. I'm not in any. Look, I just saw him this morning. Actually, I just caught him in the hallways. I was coming over, and he's delighted, for a number of reasons, and real motivation now to get back as soon as he can.
It was a a really good performance on Thursday night. And I would say, obviously, in the last 3 Europa League games in particular, we've seen the team really up their level. With this game on Monday night, how big a challenge is it for the side now to try and show that same sort of performance, I'd say, and not sort of take a step backwards in a lot of ways with a below par performance, as it were?
Yeah, look, it's fair to say it's been challenging, but I think part of that challenge is, obviously the rotations in the team. And, I think to be fair, it's going to be similar Monday night. We're going to have to make 5 or 6 changes to the team because we just want to make sure that everyone's sort of in the right space. But, I think at the same time, we're obviously disappointed with the performance, not the performance against Wolves, but certain aspects of the Wolves game. And, we need to have the same levels of concentration and sort of focus that we did on Thursday night because there's no doubt Forest, they're a tough opposition. They're having a great season. They've got huge motivation to win on Monday night. And, for us, as much as we understand that, the league's been very, very disappointing and Europa offers us a magnificent sort of opportunity to achieve something special. I still think the best preparation for that is us to play well in the 2 games preceding it.
And what have you made of Forest's season so far, and what Nuno's done at the club?
Yeah, brilliant, exciting. They've, I think they've always sort of had the quality in the team, but since Nuno's got there, they've sort of, come up with a game plan. I think suits the players they have, and they've been really consistent, with their approach. And obviously they've got massive motivation. Like I said, it looks like Champions League spots are going to be very, very competitive between in these last few games. And I'm sure that's something that they want to be a part of next year. So it'd be a good test for us.
Morning, Ange. You have to bring on Kevin Danso on Thursday night. It looked like he'd never been away, the way he came on. How important is he to kind of allow you to occasionally like that, play a back 3? Because it seems quite balanced with him in it.
Yeah, look, great to get Kevin back. He worked awfully hard. He wasn't, probably wasn't due back for another week or so, but, both him and Kulusevski sort of had that game last night as a bit of a target for themselves. And, great to have him back. And, it was important in that last part. I mean, it's not something, we've done that before. We did it last year a number of times, sort of towards the end of games. But fair to say this year, sometimes we've only had one centre-back available in total. So, having him and Ben on the sort of subs bench last night gives us that flexibility with what we need in sort of moments in the game. And, I thought he came on and, like I said, did look like he hadn't missed a beat. He's worked awfully hard at training and great to get him available, and next couple of games, I think it's important we get him some game time because I think he will be important.
Another massive performance in the backline, Destiny Udogie. People forget he's only 22 years old. I mean, how important is it this club kind of secures him or keeps him for the long term? And there's been a bit of noise about him and speculation, but just feels like such a player for the future. Yeah,
I mean, I don't know about the noise or speculation, but he's outstanding. From the moment I arrived, I kind of, I felt he's going to be a real outstanding, player for us. So much growth still to come. Physically, he's got outstanding attributes for that position, but he's improving his game all the time. He's obviously, had 2 seasons where he's had some injury issues that have disrupted him a little bit, but even that, I just think it's part of his sort of growth physically and coping with the levels, and hugely important to us. His profile, as a left back, in particular the way we play, but in general is pretty unique in that he's big, he's powerful, technically he's good going forward, but also a very good defender, and he's in a good space at the moment, and but I still think him with a number of others. I just think in the next 2-3 years they're going to be really, really important players for this club.
Someone more behind the scenes. Just want to ask you about Scott Munn. He's been in the news recently. Vinay Venkatesham's coming in, so his kind of future has been speculated, I guess, as well.
He's not the only one, mate.
Yeah, of course. As you said previously, because we don't hear from people behind the scenes too much, I think from the fans, they don't really know kind of what he does or who he is. I just wondered kind of what interactions you have with him and exactly kind of what he does behind the scenes to help you, I suppose?
I don't think it's that much behind the scenes. It's pretty evident what he does. You know, he's in charge of pretty much all the football matters, particularly from an administration standpoint. You know, he's in charge of various departments that report into, football operations. I deal with him probably on a daily basis. You know, he works really, really hard. He's very diligent with everything he does. He's he's very focused on, what we need to build here. And, he's an important part of, what we're doing. And, I don't think he does it in the shadows. I think it's pretty evident. Like I said, it's, obviously you don't hear from him. You don't hear from a lot of people at the club. You just hear from me. But I'm certainly not the one that does all the work around the football operations. It's a massive, massive part of any football club, particularly this one. And, Scott plays a huge role in that.